second appeal is an appeal hearing regarding the denial by the Historic Preservation District Commission regarding a request for exterior siding change on a contributing structure located at 2820 Monroe Street, Mandeville, Louisiana. So just as we did the first time, we'll get an overview from the city, and then we'll have no more than 10 minutes from the applicant, reply from the city, and then questions after that. Okay, so Ms. Bartholomew, okay. Okay.
Okay, so this is a house located at on Monroe Street. It is significant on the Historic District survey. The structure was built around 1869. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, there is. This is a similar case like from the last case that the applicant was asking to remove the existing wood siding and replace it with hardy siding. The applicant also was asking to replace the windows and the railing. They withdrew the appeal on those two items, and they're going to reapply to the commission. So we're just dealing with the siding only here. And again, let's see. This is application. This is the existing siding. Just trying to get to the design commission, the design reviews statement. Okay. Sorry. So design review stated that the commission considered that the structure is significant and that should follow the proper regulations, that the focus of this significant structure is the siding, and they feel that the applicant did not meet the level of detail needed to give a recommendation to the commission because of the lack of submittal information. But again, the commission voted to deny the request to change out the siding for the same reasons that we've just heard, that the structure is significant. And actually, this structure is rated higher than the contributing structure. And I will read you all that definition. So a significant or landmark structure is having the highest degree of architectural or historic merit and may also have national, statewide, or local importance. So like I said, this structure is an even higher ranking than the structure we just heard.
Okay, all righty. Ms. Kirk, you want to take over with an opening?
Yes, sir. Do you have the survey page 4? I sent everybody, or tried to send everybody on the council. That's the email I had real quick. The survey, the page 4 survey. The survey, yeah. That's an individual picture. That's not the survey picture because that was taken.
We have it in our packets.
Yeah. That was taken.
No, not the survey, the district
From
commission survey, not the
Oh,
survey
here
of
you
the
go.
property.
Oh,
one.
yeah,
Yes.
okay.
This is my picture.
We have that.
This is the street view. I'm gonna just start out by saying that I feel that we were treated unfairly for several reasons. As you saw in the last instance, these review committee meetings get very heated. Very heated because we're spending our money and we're trying to justify what we're doing and not, sell my firstborn. And now you'll see everything else, and I'll go through it if I have 10 minutes. Explain, I haven't been treated fairly in all the aspects of the restoration. Current appeal is for the siding to be hardy, but the background is at the first meeting, we had 4 issues, okay? They gave us demands, and they said, instead of saying, well, maybe this, maybe that, they said, no, go home and redo your revisions and to our liking, and then we'll approve it. Well, I didn't want to redo all the revisions to my liking. I tried to explain everything in from the soffit to the front porch rail to the sides to the windows, why we were doing this. And if you read, we caved in on the soffit, we agreed to change it, and we agreed to change everything else. But let's go back to where it says background. If you look at the first video, after the review board turned us down, but they allowed us to change our request, so they wouldn't have to vote us down. The meeting was tainted against me from the beginning when the commission accused me of being in violation by adding a huge window to my front wall. If you look at that, that's the big green thing in the middle. When I attempted to ask him about this, I was told to be quiet. I wasn't allowed to interrupt the board. First of all, this had nothing to do with what I was requesting at the time. He just piped up at the beginning of the review and said, "You're in violation." And I wasn't allowed to defend myself. I wasn't allowed to talk at the time. Second, he didn't acknowledge that he was wrong on the accusation. So the board and the audience are tainted from now, because nobody ever gave me an apology for not being true. Okay, so here we go from here. Everything's tainted. Basically, they told me I go home, I come back with revisions, matching demands, and they would see fit to accommodate me. Number 2, out of 4, the front porch railing. The wooden rail that the insurance company required we put up and was approved by the insurance company. But the board denied that railing. I'm going to show you pictures of Maison Lafitte. Looks exactly the same from the street. But I was denied that. And you know what? We caved. We said, okay, we'll go do something else. We'll do whatever you want. We'll put spindles on it. And then the ironwork that was used to be in front of Geo's at the trailhead that they deplored on my porch. And then we caved on that. And then they scoffed at us. We didn't have the railing painted yet. Well, why would I paint the railing yet? Number 1, you haven't approved it yet. And number 2, I'm going to paint everything after I repair my house. It's just one of the things that's going to be painted. And we said that, and they still scoffed at us. The board said the ironwork isn't of the era. Page 5 through 12 shows you many pieces of ironwork that were back in the day. But you know what? If you want to show 5 through 12, I don't know who's, but we caved on that too. Nobody has that?
Miss Christie would have it.
Page 5 through 12. There's ironwork.
Is that what you?
No, 5 through 12. Anyway, I have a packet if somebody wants to look at it. And Maison Lafitte's porch rail is on page 13 through 15. Almost just like ours, especially from the street, which is what they're supposed to be judging. Number 3, windows aren't ornate and detailed enough. They want outside mullions, but you've approved simpler windows in large numbers to significant and contributing houses since the commission began, to the sides of the houses, viewable from the street. One example, page 16. The rest of the while has those same windows. Simpler, really. But my side windows now, not only do they have to go back and be the same as they were, then the board said, oh no, now you have to change them to look like the front windows now. It's not good enough, I just make them look like they were. Now all of a sudden I have to make them look even better on the sides. So if you look at that page 16, there it is, simple windows. We've conceded all of these. We've changed the windows, we've changed the rail, we've changed the soffit. We do not want to concede the siding. A board assured me that and that's what I was trying to say about this gentleman. The board assured me that if I spend 5 times the price of hardy board, the cost would be completely recouped by the increased value of the home. Well, I spoke to a realtor and an appraiser. That is so not true. Number 1, they said it would probably deter the cost of increase because the maintenance, the length it's going to last, hardy is green material, and again, As this gentleman said, it's going to outlast wood boards. So no, it's not going to increase the value 5 times. It's probably going to drop it. There are errors on several points. The surveys are skewed. I don't know if anybody's ever looked at those surveys. There are two houses that I know that the owners are erroneous. I went back and I asked both of those owners, was this your house? Did you own this house back in there? And they both said, hell no, they'd never owned those houses. The owners are wrong, okay? This is page 17 through 20. A council member was very vocal in both of my meetings about setting the precedents that I would be setting with Hardy on the sides. Not true. Y'all, the commission, I consulted with the previous director of planning, and because that's what she does now, consulting, who said they'd been using Harding, and she likes the material. They'd been using it. As a matter of fact, she liked my ironwork on the front porch.
Ms. Lisa, about 3 more minutes.
As per, I told you about the appraiser, also on the survey, you have houses with the wrong addresses mixed up. We found the survey with the same address on 2 different houses. So the survey that you're going by is wrong. Whatever you're looking at the survey about, how do we know that it's correct? Okay, that's just what I saw in the little bit of time I had. Number 3, if you want to look at the pictures, sorry, but there is Hardy all over the restaurant. And look, where's the pictures? They're in there.
Let's,
First of all, we are not going to
hold on.
discuss my project at this meeting.
And-
Number 1, and number 2, that is a lie, and let's just
Where's the
stop.
okay, I
pictures?
want to
Where's the
stay
calling
focused
her a liar?
because we got about 2 minutes
I've got the
of your
pictures.
opening. So we'll stay
And
focused
the
on that.
Theater also. Well, y'all said.
No,
Y'all
I want to
said
stay
there was
focused on
no
your
Hardy.
project.
There
though.
was no Hardy.
Okay.
I'm trying to say I'm being treated unfairly because it's already there on significant buildings, and it is there in black and white.
I'm
Yes,
with
sir.
her and
Absolutely.
with her. Lisa has been treated by the historic committee unfairly. She was discriminated against and treated differently than other people who have come in front of this committee before. Not all of the historic committee, but some of the historic committee. And just because she wanted to use Hardy material on the house. Lisa is correct that we spent significant time talking to somebody who is very well respected, who came from this committee and knows all about different things about it and was there. She said, we have used it, we have approved it, we've allowed it, and it exists in numerous houses. A census that we took going around shows pictures. I'm not going to talk about certain structures, but people better check themselves before they wreck themselves. Because the fact is that it's on a lot of buildings that the historic committee said that no way in the world it is. I've been around this stuff for a long time, and I understand what it is, and people need to look at it. It has been used, it has been bought into on structures that shouldn't be there. I'd also say Lisa was mistreated for the fact of that, I believe in the Zoom meetings, several of the people who were on there, I did the Zoom meeting. And just because I didn't want to succumb to the fact of that, you want to tell Lisa what she's going to put on, what she wants on the house, that they were very frustrated and were curt. Some of them just totally, hey, I'm done, turn off the computer. And other ones stayed there trying to talk about other structures that were significant, that they allowed Hardy plank.
Mr. Dennis, if you want to wrap up your comments, then we'll go
I
down.
do.
Yeah.
The thing is that Lisa has been treated poorly. That the Pluro and all the stuff that here allows the use of this, and says reasonably and practical materials. Her structure, the Hardy plank on it, I want to correct the fact of that the details on my drawing have been reviewed by 3 different design draftsmen and attorneys, and they all looked at it and said, there's all the detail you want. I don't know how much these people just don't understand. But the details, if you put those up there, they're detailed. I showed the mountain. And also, Lozette said the fact of that, I showed the reveal on the drawings on Winter One. The material is identical to the shape and the geometry of it would be the exact of what's on the house right there.
I just got to get you to wrap up.
And the fact is that she just plainly has just wanting to use that, and because we want to use it, we've been discriminated against because it exists in a lot of places, and whether people want to believe it's on their place or not, it is.
Okay. All right.
So we've been
Thank you, sir.
discriminated against and treated differently and unfairly.
So I feel that I need to recuse myself from the vote since this is so much of my personal stuff is being brought up that is not true. If we do have hardy plank, it is new construction. We have new structures. I'm not even going to argue about my property on this, but I am concerned now that my properties have been brought up so many times that I don't feel that for your sake, and I just don't feel that I need to recuse myself, I feel. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
To be clear, you've not met a mandatory recusal, but if you feel that if you feel that it is in the best interest, then you can.
I think it's in the best interest, especially since you are so adamant about
Absolutely adamant.
personal properties that I own, and you are saying things that are not accurate.
Oh, they are.
Okay, and that's fine, but I think for both of our sakes, I recuse myself, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McGuire. All right, we'll move to the city's response and feedback updates.
I will say the applicant came in and they applied for this, and we went through the design review process, got comments back. Again, this structure is significant on our historic district survey. The siding and again, the windows and the railing aren't part of this appeal, just the siding. They were voted on separately. And the Historic District Commission felt that the siding on these structures are a character-defining feature of the historic district, and so they denied that request. And I don't know, I don't know if Bill and Jeff.
Yeah, Mr. Bernard, anything you'd like to add to this?
Sure. Just real briefly, I appreciate the applicant's right to appeal again on this case. Very similar, very tough cases. We always try, and first of all, I'm very sorry that she feels that she's been discriminated against. We try very hard as a commission, individually and as a whole commission, and the staff, the city staff tries very hard to be consistent, treat everybody fairly during design review discussions, respectfully and professionally. So I'm sorry whenever I hear somebody feels like they've been discriminated against. I'm really sorry about that, but I do believe that we're trying to be consistent in our discussions and our decisions. This is a tough case. This house is a significant house listed on the survey. The survey, like any survey, has, and she is right about that. The survey can't catch everything. There's some flaws in it. There's some mistakes in it. We're having it redone again, which we do periodically for those reasons. We're adding structures. We're fine-tuning it all the time. None of the things in the survey that were incorrect have really any bearing on the decision that we made. So we're trying to respect this significant building, and we're trying to make the decisions that are appropriate so that we can issue what is called a certificate of appropriateness. There's certain things that are appropriate, and there's certain things that are not appropriate. And we always go back to our guidelines, and we feel like we've done that in this case. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy for any of us individually when it comes to this, but that's what we're charged to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bernard. Yes, sir. Comment on Mr. Bill.
Hi, Bill Barry, member of the commission, the Historical Commission. Just wanted to reiterate what Jeff said, but I also just as a participant at the commission and on many of these design review Zoom calls, the concerns about decorum, I think I invite you to watch the tape. You know, watch the tape of our meetings, watch the tape of our Zooms. I appreciate that may be a feeling that one gets, you know, when you're being challenged with, have you tried this, have you tried that? But generally speaking, there is no such, and I think that's a really important comment. I'd like to say that everything we do is rational. Our group as a commission is thoughtful. Our process is really geared towards being assistive to our applicants. The signature at the bottom of the application form informs you, be sure to read the guidelines. It also lists several other very helpful, you know, guiding documents, the National Park Service's guidelines for historic properties. So our decisions are made rationally, thoughtfully, and in this case, the only thing that's different is that this is of elevated historic significance. I think I just want to make sure that you all understand that from my perspective and from our perspective as a commission, the process is kept, it's consistent. This is about significance. It's about authenticity for a building of this significance, and it's about appropriateness and character.
Thank you, sir. Questions from council members in regards to the appeal? And again, we're only focused on the siding piece of this, not
What is it?
windows or
What's the
anything
date
else.
it goes back to?
1869.
Just for reference, when was the Lang House built?
Not even when you graduated, but your freshman year.
Kara, do you know when the Lang House was built?
Off my head, Jeff, 1850.
Yeah, so this is same
From the
same
experts.
era as Lang House.
So this process, consistent with all others, follow the rules, information provided, everything that, you know, between planning department and application to historic district to design review.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Any other questions from council members at this time? All right, Ms. Kirk, if we want to do like we did at the last appeal, about a 3-minute kind of closing, unless there's, you know, a question or two before your closing that you want to ask, you can. You know, Mr. Klesse had the same opportunity to do it and, you know, try to be as consistent. If not, you can go right to kind of the closing and then the city can do the same thing. And then we'll try to move forward.
Just again, what I tried to show in the meeting was that there's no precedence that we are setting. It's already been done to these homes. And I had the flash drive to show the pages of different houses of significance. And again, the board said, no, there's, like she said, you know, though there's no wood on the old theater. Not wrong, not right. And the price, the cost that they are insisting that you're going to recoup your value, that is so wrong. You're not going to recoup half of the 5 times, you know, at all. And that's from an appraiser. And again, the consultant, you know, was on the board, you know, I'm sorry, was the director who said this has been used. To me, this is totally unfair. The precedent's already been knocked.
Hardy plank exists on numerous houses. We've done enough homework to see with a census
It's in here.
of it that's clearly described that we're not setting a precedent. The precedent's already been set. You've been allowing it. The department's been allowing it. The predecessors have allowed it. And for whatever reasons, whether it's documented or not, it has been allowed. It's on houses. As recently as the gentleman said, and as recently as I've talked to numerous people, and it's just been recently done, within a year and a half. So some hardy plank has been put on, along with different windows. The geometry of our wood, Lisa's wood on her house is completely different than that. It matches what hardy would be. The reveal that we talked about, the detail that put into the drawings, clearly spells out that was, like I said, Lucette agreed with, hey, you've gotten everything here. Why are they turning this down? We've used it too many times. We agree with it. You know, why? I don't understand that. You talked about on his that it was geometry. The geometry is the same as hardy plank on here, but yet you turn it down. Why? I don't agree with what they're saying. Again, they're totally discriminated and treated differently than people who have been able to put hardy plank on their house.
You know, the challenge in this process, and I hear everything that you're saying between hardy plank and wood, and I mean, I get it totally. I think, you know, the biggest challenge is that's not what we're ruling on. You know, we're ruling on, you know, an appeal of were you treated any differently than what you should have been? Was the commission inconsistent with previous rulings? Did they not follow the chloro? Did they not do all those things that came with it? And you know, it's, I mean, I know, I mean, I see hardy board, you know, around the old town. I get it totally. But in this type of structure, if the rules say it has to be wood and the Historic District Commission appropriately ruled on that, that's what we're trying to hear.
It says street view. The chloro says street view for wood.
Street review and
Street view.
reasonable.
The sides, it does not, that's all agree. My feeling of unfairness is I was not heard at the meeting at all. They're not hearing, this is it, this is what we're gonna do, period. They're not hearing. We might as well have written this in because they didn't hear a word I said. It's not fair.
Okay.
It's the fairness. I wasn't heard. Wasn't heard. Might as well just ask for it by letter.
But you're asking about this ruling, and the ruling that y'all ruling on whether we were treated fairly or just by the commission. And we weren't, because it exists. They ruled against us from using hardy plank for this house. The geometry is the same, like I said, as hardy plank. The reveal would be the same and consistent with the front of the house.
It's
on the side of the house.
We're
And
keeping the wood on the
the
street
fact
view.
is
That's
that
what the
it
chloro
exists.
says.
Are there any
It
new
exists.
arguments? I mean, I'm trying to cut you off, but we had
I know,
we had
but he
arguments,
said
we had
they were
rebuttals, we had
wrong.
closing
I'm sorry.
arguments, and
He
I'm
said
kind
they
of
were
hearing the
wrong
same
about
thing at this
chloro.
point.
Yeah,
The
but
chloro
we
says-
followed the chloro. As far as everything is just a material that ends up being a debate, and that's what they denied. And that's, you know, the chloro agrees that you can use this material. They don't want it on a significant house, but yet we have enough data to prove that it's used in numerous places. So
We
that's
weren't
why
heard.
we say
We just weren't heard.
unfairly treated and treated differently than all the other people there, and people who have and own whatever they own, you know? It's different, you know, and that's the issue that we have. and
I'm
that's
going to
what-
need from the city documentation of my property proving that we did not put hardy plank. Please, thank you.
So ruling though from the street view would be in this case more than just the front of the house,
That's the street view.
Yes, this is the street view.
right? So other than the back of the house,
Well, and these were pictures that I didn't take. This is in the survey, and this is street view. They're only street view.
It's just the sides, right? They're just asking for side.
Yeah, not the front.
Okay.
The street view is not a zoomed-in view either, though.
If there are no new arguments or discussions, can I suggest we move forward with a vote?
I don't know if the city has any sort of closing
I
on
don't have
that.
anything else to add.
Okay.
Can I ask just a clarification? You all are using wood on the front of the house.
They're
and
not,
the
there's no application for the front.
What?
The application's only for the sides.
It's only for the side.
Correct.
and that's what we're ruling on.
Correct.
Thank you.
Because we have a recusal, we need 3-1 to overturn. Okay.
Okay. So same motion is, as we had last time, basically just a motion to vote on the appeal hearing regarding the denial. Second, call the vote.
Second?
Okay, by Ms. Bush.
So it's a vote to, an affirmative vote, just to clarify again, an affirmative vote is to uphold.
Right, the ruling
The
of.
ruling of the
Historic
Historic
Commission.
Commission.
Yep, okay. Any other questions or comments from council members? All righty. Okay, Ms. Shear, if you'll call the roll, please.
For.
Recuse myself.
4.
4.
4. Okay, and that ruling is upheld by the Historic District Commission. It's a tough spot, so we appreciate, what y'all have done. But that concludes both of those hearings, those appeals. Okay, and there's nothing else on the agenda for this evening, so if somebody would like to make a motion to adjourn, we can do that.
Motion.
By Ms.
Second.
McGuire and second by Mr. Zuckerman.
Aye.